Hey, welcome to Guitar Knobs, the guitars, gear, noise, and nonsense podcast, hosted today by these knobs.
Tony Dudzik, Pick Guardian.
Hey, everybody, it's me, Todd Novak. Welcome to the Guitar Knobs podcast. We're thrilled to death that you are listening to our show. Yes, y'all. We've got a great one. We have a new friend out there in the guitar world who has sent us a bevy of awesome gear. Like, what a Christmas day that was, opening that thing up.
It really was.
We did the video of that. I know a lot of you watched that and commented on it. And that guest is... That's you.
Donny Garrett. That's me. At least I remember by name.
Yeah. Donny, whom do you represent today?
I am one of the three owners of Solodallas.
All right.
My other partners being James Allen and Phil Olivieri.
Awesome. Well, we got you clocked in here. We've got the pedal that you sent out, the Shaffer Replica, and all the good stuff that went along with it. I have to say right out of the gate, that was such an awesome surprise to see all that cool stuff in there, and we're just really grateful for the generosity you showed us, like, right out of the gate. Thank you so much.
You're welcome. That is from the start. Solodallas has always just had this culture of just being extremely generous. Probably why we don't make very much money, but we have a lot of friends. We have always just shown the love that we like to receive. And I remember getting pedals from maybe the early days of Robert Keeley. I sent in something to have him mod, and he wrote me a little note. I'm like, oh my gosh, Robert Keeley wrote me a note.
Yeah.
And we realized that we're that to some kid, or not. Maybe we're that to some 50-year-old attorney.
Yeah.
Get you an opportunity to do greater things. And I just look at it as like when this this life is over, is going to matter how much money I made or what I did with the opportunities that were given me, and that's the same way that my partners look at it.
I dig it. I very much feel the same way. That's one of the unbeknownst to us, the benefits we would reap from this show. So many friendships, so many opportunities for cool things to happen, and it is a wealth, at least for me. Tony, he just wants the money.
Yeah, I'm in it for the cash.
Yeah. Well, you know how to become a millionaire doing this, right?
Yeah.
You start with about $5 million.
Little by little. Yes.
Hanging with Elon soon.
Yeah. So anyways, well, we're going to have a great show. We're going to talk about this dandy pedal in front of us and all the other things that Solodallas is responsible for creating for you, the guitarist, the enthusiast, the musician, the whatever you may be.
Yes.
In the meantime, we got a couple of things up front real quick. I do want to point everybody, where can they go see the things that you do?
Our website is solodallas.com. We often get asked, why is your company called Solodallas? And the reason why is because the founder of this company, he bears a slight resemblance to Harrison Ford. He's also crazy about Star Wars. And he was originally born in Dallas. So that was just his screen name. It was Solodallas. And
That's perfect.
Yeah. Well, we can't wait to dig into the entire story and learn more about not only this pedal, but again, what all the other stuff it's a well-known name. So we're going to find out more about it.
Todd?
Yes, Tony.
I have a breaking announcement.
A
breaking announcement.
Okay.
This is from our friend Jared.
Okay.
Jared was desperately trying to be on the show tonight.
Yes.
But he did give me a message to give to Donny.
Okay.
And I will read it. And it is, quote, and you'll like this. Please tell the fella that I love the pedal. It's awesome. And then I'm sorry I can't make the show.
Yeah.
So he did really want to be on.
Yeah.
And I know firsthand because I talked to him. He does love the pedal.
Yeah.
So he also has the Shaffer Replica Storm. Now he just purchased that on his own.
Yep. Yep.
And yeah, that's pretty awesome that he found it organically.
Yeah. He used to be a regular on our show. He was my first co-host and my first real co-host, I should say. And then he built pickups, Brandon wound pickups, and then Gibson said, we think you should work for us. So now he's the pickup guy at Gibson. So he doesn't get to spend as much time being goofballs like me and Tony.
He's a corporate guy now.
Anyways, we'll move on. So we got a couple of quick announcements now in the ongoing pedal giveaway.
Yes,
we've got next up from Mike Nazionale is the Boss Digital Delay DD5.
Oh, it's a 5.
It's a 5.
Oh, wow.
Yes, I got 5 on it. I don't know where that came from. So we're going to be giving this away, and the lucky person getting this is John Williams, a Grizzly Bay.
Williams, Grizzly Bay.
Yes, he
shaving
makes some
products.
really awesome stuff. So
I
John,
love the soundtrack for Star Wars too.
Yeah, he did.
Yeah, he did.
Yes.
Yeah.
And
so as a hobby now, he's living off the money from the compositions, but he makes shaving
it's
products.
Sound way better with delay on it too.
Yes.
Go ahead, hum it.
Yeah, we can't because if we use too much, it costs us money.
Yes, that is true. That's true.
But we can do a reasonable facsimile.
Well, John, this pedal is going to be coming out to you pretty soon. We'll get this in the mail to you. Thank you so much for your support.
Yes.
We give the things that we are asked to give away to our Patreon supporters.
Absolutely.
On Patreon. Tony has that information at the end.
Yep.
And
you can give it now if you'd like.
Well, you can go to patreon.com and go to the Guitar Knobs.
/the Guitar Knobs.
/the Guitar Knobs, and you'll land, and then you'll be one of the proud supporters, the patrons, the executive producers, and grand poobahs.
We love them
Yes. So thank you so much for doing that. John, congrats. And we got 3 more to give away.
Excellent.
Yeah, so we'll keep that going. And hopefully you guys liked our last Instagram reel. That took a ton of work. I really it doesn't seem like it, but I promise you that was not easy. Okay, next we're going to be doing Pedals and Pints in Columbus,
love it.
October 8th at the Combustion Brewery in Clintonville. And we're putting together a table. We're gonna have a pedal board and a guitar and all that stuff. And it's going to be UK-based builders, European-based builders. I'll just extend that a little bit.
Yes.
Featuring the Dr. No skull fuzz that he sent out. So
will the Scran be on there?
The Scran will be on there. There's going to be a whole bunch of stuff on there.
Oh, lovely.
It's going to be great. So we can't wait to see you. Travel near, travel far, but just be there. It's going to be great. We got a whole bunch of other builders
Come to Columbus.
It's great.
It's a lovely city to visit.
Okay.
Wouldn't want to live here.
No. What? No, that's great. Okay, so let's find out what's going on in our music world this week. Tony, share a little something from the wealth of your so-called life.
Well, last night,
Yes.
Marshall Crenshaw played here in Columbus.
Oh.
And I'm a big Marshall Crenshaw fan. I mean, I've loved everything that he's put out, really, literally.
Okay.
And figuratively.
Okay.
But I have not seen him with a full band for many, many, many years. The last couple
I thought you were
times.
seeing Nick Lowe.
Oh.
Who did I tell somebody they were? I think it was you, Donnie. I said
you told me that.
Yeah.
I didn't even know Rob Lowe had a brother.
He's even better looking.
Oh, yes. I did see Nick Lowe several years ago, but
okay.
Let's talk about Marshall Crenshaw, shall we? Well, I'm going to give...
What's Marshall Crenshaw famous for, Tony?
Well, his big hit in the day, I think it was 1982, was Someday, Someway. You guys might remember that. He played Buddy Holly in La Bamba, the movie La Bamba.
Yeah.
And
Yeah, that was a short role.
yeah.
Oh man. Woo! Wait, the lights just dimmed. Oh my goodness. That was pretty good, dude. You'd fit in really well at our table.
I love it.
Okay.
Oh my goodness. Anyhow, I'm going to give Marshall a little slack because he's
short roll. That was really good. Jeez. Okay.
Hopefully got paid scale. But anyhow, Marshall is 71 years old, as I realized or found out. And he doesn't quite have the pipes that he once had.
Shocker.
And, that's okay.
Yeah.
And a buddy of mine, Jeff Passafume, was he's a local guy that was helping tech for Marshall and band.
Okay.
And he had a full band with him. And his guitar player, Fernando, I forget his last name. Whoa! What a smoking great guitar player.
Wow.
I mean, everything. He was really, really good. But, even my wife, who's a big Marshall fan, Marshall Crenshaw fan,
yes.
not Marshall Amps, said, "Why it sounds different?" And it was because he's
71 years
yeah,
old.
well, it's 2 steps down too, so it was.
He's 71 years old.
Yeah, thank you. But it was fun to hear all those great songs, even if they weren't, in their pristine condition as I would have liked them to be.
Sure.
But I think you would have appreciated at least one of the guitars that Marshall was playing.
Really?
Yes. So he had a double-cut Gretsch Duojet,
Oh.
all black,
Oh.
had gold hardware. I know that's not your thing.
Yeah.
But it did have a gold pick guard.
Yeah, well, it should.
But what was interesting is, as my buddy Jeff informed me, it's a standard scale length Duojet, but he has it strung and tuned as a baritone. So that one is B to B.
Oh.
And so it's got some pretty monster strings on it. And I think part of it is he's playing these things. Well, that's
got to drop everything.
Well, that's like a fifth down. What is that?
Don't math, man.
So it
Don't do
goes
I
E
don't
to
know.
B. So that's a fifth down, which is kind of his range now.
Yeah.
Although he did have he almost sounded like he was struggling with them being that low. I mean, on the low end.
Well, he's probably put a few fifths down.
Yeah.
So I do check this out. I just went and saw. Talk about an old performer who still works in. I just saw. Willie Nelson.
Yeah.
Wow.
He's 94 years old. He's still doing his tour. Billy Strings was opening for him. Bob Dylan was there.
Wow.
And so I had never seen Bob or Willie Nelson perform. And what's interesting about Willie Nelson is he can talk his way through a song, and his speaking voice is so Willie Nelson.
Yeah.
But it still sounds good.
Yeah.
But yeah, he really I think was kind of coughing his way through most of the songs, but his band was just so respectful and talented, but just so respectful of the music that they were playing.
Isn't it
And one of
mostly
the
his
sons-
family, right?
Well, no, just his son was there with him on
Okay.
stage, but it's just a group of legendary players. But it was a moment.
Wow.
And Billy Strings, he recently started using one of our products to make his his acoustic guitar sound electric.
Yeah.
And so he was just so generous. And usually we get if someone comps us this kind of nosebleed comps, he really was really generous, and it was just an awesome moment to have.
Wow. That's cool, man.
Yeah, that'd be a great show to see. I mean, I'm not a huge Willie fan, but I do respect the stuff that he's written over the years. I've seen some live performances, and yeah, he's not a virtuoso singer, but man,
But he never was. And that was his saving grace, if
Yeah.
nothing else.
He's a tremendous songwriter. I mean, most people don't know that he wrote "Crazy,"
Yep.
the Patsy Cline
Yeah.
sing, or "Georgia." These are songs that other people made more famous, but tremendous songwriting. And when it's kind of like going to a Journey concert. Like, he sings a song and you go, "Whoa, that was a big hit." And then he sings another one, and you realize, "Wow, this guy has written like a million hits."
Yeah.
Oh my God,
Yeah.
I know. Yeah, that's true.
Somebody asked me the other day, was it one of our Would You Rathers? I can't remember, but it was like they were kind of knocking the idea of going to a Journey concert. I'm like, are you freaking kidding me? Like, they don't have a bad song. They're all really, really great songs.
And they must not have a hot wife or girlfriend, because, man, that is some make-out music. You want to get the girl in the mood. Take her to a Journey show.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Well, anyways.
Well, anyhow, that was so. Yeah,
That's cool.
That was a show, and Marshall's another one of those great singer-songwriters.
Yeah.
And I just, we had a great time.
Good.
It was a little disappointing. I mean, I would have liked to gone back to the 1980s or 90s even, when he still had full voice and everything. But we'll take what we can get.
Yes.
Yeah.
Enjoy.
He's no Rob Lowe.
Yeah.
Indeed. Hey, so Donny, what do you have going on in your music world this week that isn't about making pedals?
Dude, I just bought tickets to see the B-52s in Devo at Hollywood
Oh,
Bowl.
wow. Hollywood Bowl. Oh, wow.
I told you I grew up in that. When I was in junior high, I was like, new wave was actually new.
Yeah.
I think I went from being ska to new wave to heavy metal in the span of, like, I don't know, 3 or 4 months.
Yeah, that's fair.
But there was new wave in there somewhere. But yeah, so really excited about that.
Those have got to be some of the hardest tickets to get ever.
Well, I didn't get comp tickets. You kind of get spoiled when you're in this type of business, because Solodallas, we have over 90 major label artists that are using our stuff. We like to say we're like the biggest secret. Most people associate the Shaffer Replica product line with AC/DC.
Yeah.
But we have guys like Chris Stapleton's band, and country, and Keith Urban, and then the metal guys are all about it. Kirk Hammett didn't even know he was using it until he wrote an article called "My Secret Weapon," and they were like, well, "Hey, why are you keeping it a secret?"
Where's my tickets?
but that's why his tone was so much better on the last album.
Yeah.
He really that a bunch of the metal guys using our stuff.
Yeah.
But metal, country, almost every genre.
I just saw, getting back to Devo, I just started watching at lunch. I'll watch long form things. I love Masterclass. And I just finished a big Masterclass with Richard Branson. And I was like, I'm going to get into some music stuff. Billy Corgan's show on YouTube is freaking awesome. I don't know if you guys have scoped that out, but Devo was on there, and it was great because they were telling it like in great detail, like from the very, very beginning. And I think it's the Magnificent Others, Billy Corgan's Magnificent Others, and he's a great interviewer. And I just started watching it. I got pulled away, but I can't wait to get back to it.
Yeah, it's such an interesting band. What they were, anybody who's out, kind of outside the box like that, and just what they've done since, with all of the score work and film, really cool and very prolific.
Yeah, there was a band. I think they were an LA, California band, anyways. Called Don Knotts Overdrive. Super obscure band, but they were on a compilation. I used to work for an action sports video kind of company thing, and we were using it on one of the videos that we were doing, and they did. I've tried to find it, and it's almost impossible to find because they got sued by Don Knotts. Shocker, but. they did a cover of Snowball, which is oh my gosh, I love that cover.
But they didn't get sued. Right? Devo wasn't going to sue him, but Don Knotts was.
Don Knotts did, yeah.
Maybe they could have called it Mr. Limpet Overdrive.
Yeah. Maybe yes. Yeah. Anyways, Devo and B-52s, wow. At the Hollywood Bowl. Jiminy Christmas.
Yeah.
That's going to be
great. And I think I might be going to see Joe Perry Experience with basically Aerosmith couldn't call themselves Aerosmith anymore. So Steven Tyler and Joe Perry are now having this Joe Perry Experience with one of the brothers from the Black Crowes and some other all-stars.
Wow.
They're going to be doing a thing also at Hollywood Bowl. And I've become very good friends with Joe Perry's old guitar tech. He's now Robbie Krieger's guitar tech. Both of those guys also use our stuff. Matter of fact, I have a funny story with Joe Perry. The first time I went out to meet him, I was actually meeting with his guitar tech, and I brought a backup pedal because his guitar tech said he keeps taking it out of the rig, and he said, you can't take stuff out of the rig. He said, it's got to be ready to fly and all that stuff.
Yeah.
And so he goes, keeps taking it out. I said, I'll bring him a spare when I come down. So we're poking around. He's giving us a tour rig. And I'm not there to meet Joe Perry by any means. And I'm just there to meet with him. And Joe Perry pokes his head back there. He's like, hey, who are these guys? And why are you showing them my secrets? And he's like, oh, these are the guys from Solodallas. And he goes,
they make the secret.
So he yells for the guy in his crew. He goes, bring me a silver Sharpie.
Nice.
And I'm like, this is it, man. We get a Joe Perry signature, picture maybe at that moment. And he takes the pedal and the Sharpie and goes, hey, will you sign this for me? So somewhere Joe Perry has a pedal signed by me.
That's crazy. That's super cool, man.
So if you see it on eBay.
Yeah, right. That's really cool. Wow, that's what a great memory that must be for you. That's awesome.
Right, yeah, hoping to go see that. And then also Robbie Krieger's doing a thing at the Pantages or one of those theaters where he is going to perform all of the Doors stuff that was not ever recorded, but just performed live.
Wow.
That's interesting.
Wow.
Yeah, he's still got it on guitar. That's the great thing about being a guitarist. You don't get into that, position like Marshall or any of these older singers are, where it's like you don't have the pipes anymore. I mean, you look at Angus Young, his guitar just has to be in tune, and he don't even have to do that. He just does his thing. You can get up there, you got a nasty head cold or the flu or whatever, and you just have to muster up the energy and take some your prescriptions or whatever, and you're ready to go.
That's right. Well, I think the lesson that we learned is for younger songwriters to not write songs so high, so that if they do make the test of time, they'll be able to sing them in the same key.
Yeah.
I've said that about Dream On. I bet that Steven Tyler regrets that every time that song comes to the end, and he's got to do that.
Yeah.
Oh, man.
On that note, so Judas Priest is coming to, on that note, Judas Priest is coming to Cincinnati, and I was excited because I wanted to see if my daughter would go with me, and because she goes to school down there, she's like, yeah, me and my friends are going to see Judas Priest, and I was like, anyways, remarkably, it is absolutely remarkable to see what that guy can still hit, because on some of those songs, I mean, he's like doing glass breaking stuff, and he's still got it, man.
There's some guys like that. Ronnie James Dio was like that.
Yeah.
To the end, man. I think he
Vince
died
Neil.
on a high note.
No, I'm just kidding.
Yeah. No.
Nope.
Let's stay on the positive here.
Yes.
I went and saw Bonnie Raitt, and she still has it.
Yeah.
I don't know how old she is, and if I knew, I wouldn't say it, because she's just so graceful and still beautiful. She used to have a red hair with a silver streak, and now she has silver hair with a red streak. But she just, her voice, maybe she's one of those people that always sounded older, kind of like Don Henley always sounded old, so it works, But her just a velvety voice.
Oh, yeah.
and so such a great slide player. Her guitar tech is named Matt Straw. I tell people I don't hang out with famous people. I hang out with their guitar techs.
Yeah.
And Matt is just an awesome guy. Just spent some time in the desert with my wife and I, with him and his wife a couple of weeks back. We went to see the meteor storm. But anyway, Matt, he said, I've been with her for, at that time, 7 years. He goes, I can't add a new pedal. It's like she just loves what she loves. She's still playing through the same Badcat, amplifier. That's a very early one. And she loves her Boss pedals. And he goes, every time she steps on that Boss compressor, it's like, and so if I pull it out, she's like, where's the hiss? He said, but she is totally not like a gear person. She just loves what she loves. And our Storm pedal, which she wanted something that would make her leads stand out, but not distort them.
Yeah.
And so the Storm pedal really is, although it is an overdrive, a boost, and a limiter with some EQing and a line buffer in there. It's a lot of things, but that optical limiter is really the thing that makes that pedal special. It gives you this percussive attack, lots of harmonics, and some added sustain, which is beautiful on anything. Those are just musical artifacts. And so he plugged her into our Storm pedal, the same one you have, and she's like, "Ooh, what's that?"
Nice.
But he said, never try to talk to her about gear. She is not a gearhead. He said, you know what she calls that old brown Strat that she plays?
What?
The brown one.
Hand me the brown one.
Hand me the brown one.
That's exactly it. Yeah.
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 Todd, what about you? What's going on in your musical world this week?
We had a gig in Cleveland.
Clevetown.
Cleveland. Sorry, I got a little bit of a stutter. Yeah, we went to Cleveland and we played the 5 o'clock lounge. Super cool old style bar.
Nice.
Really a cool place. And there was a ska band called the Nightclub, named after the Specials.
Yes.
And
Nightclub. Yeah. Listened to that a few times.
And the guy who runs it was basically DJing the whole night. Mm-hmm. Oh my gosh, man. That guy had one of the best playlists I've ever. I mean, it was song after song. I'm like, I love that song. And so we went and did that, and it was really cool. I just recently had got a new, like a road case for my AC30 and got it all set up and everything. And
it wasn't heavy enough.
Yeah, yes, it wasn't. But here's the real reason I got it is because I don't like amps hitting me in the back of my calves, right? And I wanted to have something where I could put it up as well as protect it, right? And so it sits on top of the bottom comes off and it sits in the little wheel wells on the top cover, and it worked out awesome. And I was like, yes, this was such a good.
Oh, you mean when you're playing through, not when you're carrying it?
Yes.
Okay, because I don't like really hits me in the calves while I'm carrying it either.
Yes. But one of the things is that so I usually have 2 guitars. I kind of switch back and forth on a couple of songs. And it's always a pain in the butt, hurry up, take one off, put it over there and grab the other one and put it on. And so, there's not a bunch of dead space and the guitars aren't falling over and everything. So I drew up I said to my drummer, who's one of my tech partners, we made several things. And I said, hey, I'm going to draw this up and I want you to make it. And it's kind of like a cup holder that attaches itself to the one of the sides of the actual case, but it's not a cup holder; it's a guitar holder. So we 3D printed, designed this thing, and it worked perfectly. So I just walked over there, put it right there, and it's just. I was just so thrilled. I was like, "This really works."
You're giving away your inventions, man. Now somebody's going to come out with it.
Somebody's going to come out with that. Yes.
I like it.
Yeah, kind of cool. And
I'd like to see a clip on the front, though.
Yeah, but then you got to bother with that. I just need to go pop it in. Man, I could do a sliding one. That would work.
Yeah, just a slide.
I'll work on that, Tony.
Yeah,
thanks.
Chop.
Anyway, so that was really fun because I was like, yay, I thought of something. It got made and it works.
Yeah.
Anyhow, let's move on. What we didn't talk about is really, except for the pedal we're about to talk about. But if let's fast forward, and we're talking about that pedal. If we were to use that pedal, which we did, and we tested it out, which we did, and we needed to plug it into things, which we did, what would we use, Tony?
I, as well as we,
Yes.
would use Tour Gear Design patch cables.
That is correct. And these came in awful handy when testing out the Storm. And you can go get yourself some at tourgeardesigns.com.
Yes.
Load up your cart, get
Load it
all the
up.
different sizes, all the different
sizes.
shapes, and hit purchase. Now, don't worry. Don't worry. You're not going to bypass the coupon. The purchase activates the space to put the coupon code in. Tony, what's the coupon code?
The Guitar Knobs, all lowercase, all one word.
And you're going to save how much?
15%.
15%. While the world doesn't fully go haywire, that still stands as far as we know.
We'll take it.
Yes.
Take
it while you
advantage of
can.
it.
Yes. You will be happy. So thank you, Tour Gear, for sponsoring our 4 on the Floor.
Let me get a little bit of this.
1, 2, 3. 4 on the Floor. All right. Donny Garrett from Solodallas. What is your 4 on the Floor?
4 on the Floor, pedals that were keepers for me. Man, I've been through a lot of pedals, much like you guys have. And it's just for me, if something inspires a song, the moment I plug it in, it's a good one. That's what tells me, hey, this is a good pedal. But the Rockbox Boiling Point, don't know if you remember that. That did it for me. Just a really cool pedal. It's got, regardless of the guitar or amplifier that I'm using, I can always find this light overdrive that works with the voicing. It has a tube screamer, like a TS-808, a clon, and I think Marshall Major, or something, forget, with something like that, on the Blues Breaker pedal. Anyway, it has those 3, and you could switch, select them with the toggle, and then it has a fat switch. And then other than that, it's just, gain, level, and tone. But yeah, I can always find a great overdrive tone. That one that I got was I pre-ordered it when they first came out. I saw it at NAMM, loved it, and pre-ordered one. So it's like super early swirly paint job. They make a more affordable surface mount construction one now. But it's still a great sounding pedal that I don't see often. You see a lot of clones and TSR or tube screamer clones, but this one has both in there.
Yeah,
and
they're really well priced too.
Yeah, not bad. And also another one that I love. It's also really well priced for a clean boost. Most clean boost, they just get too. If you bump them too hard, they start overdriving the amp too much and you lose clarity. Creation Audio Labs, they're actually based out of Nashville, Tennessee. These guys, they're guitarists, but their day job is that they restore and rebuild studio equipment. And so they get their hands on a lot of old vintage stuff. Well, they stole a trick from old British consoles where in the channel strips, as you turn up the gain, it introduces kind of treble bleeds. It lets a little bit of treble through so that you retain your clarity as you push your amplifier. And so they have a pedal, it's called the Mark 420, like MK 423.
Yes.
Which it's a scripture or something like that, but a beautiful one knob on it. And it is just a one knob boost. The Strymon L Cap, I got mine so long ago, it still has the clicky switches on it.
Yes.
There's something, that pedal inspired so many songs for me because of the warmth and the tones, and it's got all these hidden features you can really geek out on, like push this and hold down that and turn that, and it'll like add tape glitches and stuff like that.
Yeah, that and the Flint really have oh my gosh. It's like, it's hard to find a board that doesn't have. You have both? Yeah. See, that's about right.
I have both, although I'll tell you, I love the reverb and tremolo on my 1965 Deluxe reverb, not the reissue one, the 65. I have to say that now because they came out with one called the 65 Deluxe reverb.
Right.
But the real one that my dad had passed down to me, and nothing sounds exactly like that. Because if I kick this pedal during a show, it doesn't go and sound like lightning, But my amp, if I kick it, it does exactly that. And that's 3, right? And my tuner, it sounds lame, but I love to be in tune, and so I've got the Little Bitty Audio Research Noir. It's like the black one. It's a half pedal size. And I'm going to squeeze in our Storm, just to talk about our products. I love the Shaffer Replica Storm because it makes everything that put in front of it sound better. And it's because it's particularly mid boost. They tend to strip out the low end. They sacrifice the low end so you can get that mid boost. But the EQ on the Storm, it's what is called the goalpost EQ. So imagine you have a graphic equalizer in front of you. You leave your precious mids all alone, and at the far ends, your presence and your low mids, you turn it up there. And so it adds this low end back in, but your tube screamer still sounds like a tube screamer. It just sounds like a better one. And it adds this little bit of clarity that helps with the I don't know, pronunciation of your playing, or however you want to say that.
Yeah.
But it really helps with articulation. But that's my 4 on the floor.
All right. Yes.
That's a good one.
Excellent. Well, with that, we've been alluding to some of the benefits of the store. Now, when we're talking about this pedal, this is the full name, the Storm, the Shaffer Replica Storm, right?
Yes, that's it.
Okay. Before we go any further with that, do you refer to it as the Storm or the replica, or the what?
We refer to that one as the Storm. We have that is actually a pedal version of our EX Tower.
Right.
If you want the whole story, I can give it to you really fast.
We'd love it.
Let's do it.
That's what this is for, man. Woo!
So check this out, Tone Geeks. There are every once in a while, there's a really cool discovery that happens. And it's like, that somebody was using an Echoplex, and that the front end of it was used, to create this overdrive. And it wasn't even for the echo effect. It was for that overdrive,
Mm-hmm.
or that somebody discovered that some engineer in a studio, created a box that all the Motown bass lines were played through by throwing together some parts on the spot. And, Acme made this discovery years later. The Bassman, was supposed to be this bass amplifier, and all these guitarists end up using it. But it's like cross use of a product that ended up really being part of the sound of all these recordings that we hear, and love. And it seems like kind of all that stuff's been done, but we found something that had not. And that was really what started this company. My partner and the founder of this company, Phil Olivieri, major AC/DC guy. I mean, he plays like Angus. Even Angus said, "You play like me." He said, "You got it, kid." And he just had this. He started out this kind of forum YouTube channel. He was just geeking out in his room trying to play like Angus, and he had all the guitars and the amplifiers, and just felt like something was missing, and he blamed it on his fingers. And some guy in his group's like, "Hey man, I have this Guitar Player magazine from like 1980 something," and Angus Young says that he used his wireless unit in the studio to record Highway to Hell and Back in Black, and immediately piqued his interest. He did a deep dive, found out there was this thing called the Shaffer Vega Diversity System. It was the first really good wireless unit created by a guy by the name of Ken Shaffer with the Vega Corporation, which was already making wireless stuff.
Yeah.
But their stuff was like not that good. And he was like major radio guy. And he's like, man, I could like, you know, send radio and receive radio signals halfway across the world. These guys are only doing it across the stage, and it sounds horrible. And so he worked with them, created the Shaffer Vega diversity system. Diversity because he had two different channels that it would switch over if one got poor. And within that unit, it had an optical limiter that was there to just prevent clipping, but it did lots of cool stuff. It had a compander, which was something created by the Pacific, the Bell Company back in 1905. It's where you compress the signal so it'll travel over either wire or through the air with minimal, goes farther, minimal amplitude, and then you restore the amplitude on the other end. Well, when you start messing with signal like that, you get compression artifacts, and then you boost those compression artifacts by amplifying them, and it brings it all out. So that was in there just for signal to noise ratio. Dolby also, Ray Dolby also used that as part of the Dolby process.
Really?
That's why every recording that was recorded on Dolby had a certain little je ne sais quoi. We're coming out with a pedal called the Command Drive that is those artifacts. That's about 2 weeks away.
Oh, wow.
Command Drive 65, because in 1965 Dolby was introduced. But anyway, back to the Shaffer Replica. So it also had that goalpost EQ that I mentioned. It had a line buffer because of all the stuff that was happening in there. It also had within it had some gain knobs so that you could adjust for signal loss if you wanted to bring it up a little bit. When we got our hands on some original ones, we found that guitar techs have been tweaking with that. Jerry Garcia's guitar tech, Dan Healy, he sold us Jerry's old wireless unit. And sure enough, that was a big part of his sound, was he was using that gain, using it as a boost on stage. But one of the probably weirdest parts about it was it had a headphone out, a 1/4-inch headphone out, because headphones used to be 1/4-inch.
Yeah.
Just like guitar cables.
Yeah.
And so they had, they put this headphone out on the front. All the other jacks were on the back. And because it was on the front, guitarists were running out of the headphone jack into their amplifier and then turning up the op amp to drive that little output. Well, that's the first use of a full frequency boost, 1974. That predates the Rat by 3 years. And there were treble boosters before that, but this was the first really full frequency boost ever used on stage. And so Angus Young took these in the studio, didn't tell a soul, neither did Mutt or anyone else, and reveals it in this random guitar player article. So Phil couldn't find any. He ended up finding out that the guy, Ken Shaffer, was still alive and living in New York, still living there, still alive today. And he worked with him to reverse engineer, and he had 2 original units that had never seen road use. And he bought one of them, reverse engineered it. They missed some stuff, but then later we ended up finding out they missed the optical limiter, and some of the earliest versions aren't quite there. Plus, they were not accounting for the fact that they were making up for that, which is loss of a wireless transmission, and it was never transmitted. This is a unit with no wireless. You just plug into it and out of it.
Wow.
But unit number 1, when it was completed, was presented to Angus Young in person, and he's like, "I got my sound back." So this guy who idolized Angus Young got to be a part of his life and getting his best sound back. And he still uses it since 2014. Wow. Angus has used it to this day, doesn't play a gig without it, doesn't play a rehearsal without it. He has 2. He has 2 rigs, one for rhythm, one for lead. And so they just A/B. When he goes into a lead, it goes into a different rig. So once he started using it, just the list, I can't even name like all the major people that are using this product. It is the top people in country. the top people in metal, the top people in definitely classic rock and blues, like Joe Bonamassa for blues, would probably be a top guy. Kirk Hammett, obviously, and is using it on guitar, and then for like Rex Brown uses it on bass. We have a bass version of that pedal called the Bass X. Lamb of God, also a bunch of metal guys using that effect on bass because it does something very interesting. It's so different, but the moment you hear it, you go, "Oh, that's that sound." It's the sound I heard on Kiss Alive. It's the sound that I heard on the Back in Black album. It just, when you hear something as musicians that is familiar, it does something in our DNA. It makes the hair raise up, and we go, "That's it. That's what guitar is supposed to sound like." I've often said, like, first is best. Why do we want? Why is the Strat and the Les Paul still the top selling guitars? Well, because that's what guitars are supposed to sound like. And if they would have been made out of something completely different, that would be what guitar is supposed to sound like.
Yeah.
And it is the music that was created that created an emotional experience within us when we heard Jimi Hendrix or Jimmy Page or someone else named Jimmy, play through those instruments. They created music. They created the emotional response. So when we hear the sound, our Pavlovian, effect goes in, and we just start drooling and go, "Oh, that's that sound.
Yeah.
It's there. That's it." And it's very seldom that we find something that has not already been discovered that has that in it. And that's why the moment you guys plugged into the Storm, it was like, this is what guitar is supposed to sound like. This is it. And I've heard a lot of people say, the Shaffer Replica, what it does, it's subtle, but it's monumental. It makes your sound 3D or maybe 4D even. And it's what it does for the attack. It's percussive attack, copious harmonics, singing sustain. And it's really that optical limiter, though it looks like an overdrive, it's that limiter that's doing really the heavy lifting. And it's nice to be able to add in a little bit of harmonic, accentuate that harmonic content with some clipping and boost. It also has an internal mini pot that we don't really tell people about. We just let them discover it.
Oh.
And that will just adjust for the output after everything. And you can just kind of, if you really want to push things, you can. But it's good if you're using it for a real clean boost and you want to just have like 2 boosts and not be driving the gain as much.
Yeah.
That limiter is great for that too. But that's really was the beginning of our company. And so we ended up, having the EX Tower, which has everything in it. We have the Storm, which has everything except for the compander because it just won't fit. Also, the tower runs on 15 volts, got a little more headroom in it, and it has like a balanced out and some studio options to defeat the boost and the limiter in case you want to do that in post, but still have the tone in there. And then that's why it costs a lot more. It's $14.99 for the tower.
Yeah.
And the pedal is only $229. Just the limiter in there is worth, like, it's a $500 limiter, but you get an overdrive and a boost to boot with it. And then we have a version we made for the bass called the Bass X. We developed that with Rudy Sarzo. That is used by a ton of bassists. Chris Stapleton's bassist uses it for country stuff. Like I said, Rex Brown uses it for, with Pantera. And it applies to, regardless of your style, but it does something different on bass. The EQ in there, that low mid, adds this Jocko-esque growl. But you combine that with that percussiveness of the attack. It's almost a Storm on the inside. We just have the gain adjusted differently so that it doesn't clip too much from that high amplitude instrument. And it leaves a little more wiggle room on the limiter so you can really clamp down on it. And then we created a boost pedal called the SVDS Boost. It has the same EQ.
That's the SVDS, everybody.
Yeah, the Shaffer Vega Diversity System Boost, SVDS. And that boost pedal, it has the gain preset with components on the inside to about 60% of a Storm. It has the boost knob on the front of it, just one knob. It also has that output signal boost if you want to use that. But you get that goalpost EQ in there, the gain structure, and it has a Storm sound, but it doesn't have its attack. It doesn't, because it lacks the limiter. But there are a bunch of guys using those and Storms together, like one always on, one for leads. But it is not a clean boost. It is a complex, dirty, like harmonically rich boost. If you remember, before the overdrive was introduced, right? Back in the 70s, they had these things called boosters. Boosters were overdrives. But when Maxon brought out the term overdrive with like the professional overdrive in 1976 or so, they called it, they introduced the term overdrive, which was what the boosters were doing. They were overdriving the amplifiers. And then everybody just started calling them overdrives. And then later someone introduced the clean boost, which did not overdrive. It was just clean. So often when we think of a boost, we think of it as the thing that just makes you one louder. Oh, I just saw Spinal Tap 2 last night. But it just makes it, one louder. This is different. This introduces complex harmonic structure. It makes notes sound like chords and chords sound like orchestras, and it dirties up real fast. So if you want a clean boost, do not buy the SVDS boost. But if you want something that really performs more like an overdrive and has one knob on it, it's phenomenal.
Outstanding. You hit on so many great points. Obviously, all the other pedals and everything. And these, it's interesting because you're sitting in a space that is like, it's not like, hey, wow, click on this, and all of a sudden you have a completely different thing happening. You guys have really finessed the art of like making you sound better.
Well, imagine this. You're Joe Perry or Joe Bonamassa or Joe Blow, and you've spent your entire life trying to develop a sound that when people hear you, they go, "Oh, that's him. Oh, that's Stevie Ray Vaughan or that Jimi Hendrix or whatever." You immediately go, "That's that guy." The last thing they want is a pedal they're going to turn on it and they're not going to sound like them anymore. And yeah, it is those beautiful subtleties. We've really went with this MO of discovering historic technology and reproducing it for the modern masses, faithfully reproducing it in high quality. Our manufacturing is done by Cusack. They're phenomenal. Their attention to detail, they will take stuff we design and go, it could be better, and create a more efficient design that has lower, or better signal to noise ratio and stuff like that. But they're excellent, and have really helped us. But we have continued to try to do the same thing, find new stuff. There are a million fuzz pedals out there, but we felt like there wasn't one that was musical. We introduced a pedal called the Orbiter.
Our engineer, just very recently.
Our engineer, he is very unique because unlike Leo Fender, who was not a musician and had to rely on musicians to go, "Hey, does this sound good?" And he's looking at an oscilloscope, going, "Oh, that shape sounds good," according to Freddie Tavares or whatever. Right. And so our engineer, his name's Dries Potvin. He's in Belgium, and he found Phil through their whole love of vintage gear and all this stuff. And he has tremendous ears. He is an amazing guitarist. And he can, create something, play through it and go, "Oh, if I change C4, it's going to get this," or whatever. He knows what component he has to change to get a certain effect. And because of that, he is able to design stuff that is extremely musical. There are a few designers out there like that, but not many. And so it's usually a team of people, and he's like a team of people in his head. And so I only design the aesthetic parts of these. Everything under the hood is him, and Cusack. And so with what he did with the Orbiter is he took a few things. He said, "I love the fuzz face. I love what Cesar Diaz did with it, with the square face. But I feel like it could really use a bias knob that really adjusts that voltage. And we need to find some, transistors, solid state silicon transistors that we can match them. And what we ended up coming up with was a voltage pairing circuit within the pedal. Cusack helped us develop that so that we can adjust it. We always have a matched pair because that's what makes a great fuzz face. If they're unmatched, it just sounds like a buzz saw. But you get this smooth fuzz when they're matched. And so at the bias, as you adjust it, they stay matched the whole time because they're internally matched with this circuit. We also put in there a circuit that emulates a carbon zinc battery, because a lot of people don't realize is that the carbon zinc battery, like Eric Johnson realizes it, obviously, the carbon zinc battery has an effect on a fuzz face. It's like a transformer and an amplifier. When you hit your guitar hard and it sags, it blooms. And the power provided by a battery in a fuzz face does the same thing. If you're plugged into the wall, it'll give you everything you want and more. But when you're have a carbon zinc battery, it goes, it kind of grunts it, and then it sags and blooms. And so we have a circuit within our pedal, within the orbiter, that emulates the sag of a carbon zinc battery. It also has a pickup and impedance adjustment, so because they're really sensitive to pickup impedance.
Yeah.
And so you can really fine tune it on the inside. It's a sweet spot finder.
That's awesome.
And then we have another thing. It's called the drag, and it allows you to get either a syrupy kind of drag on your attack or that really fast spitty thing. And it also fuzz. It feeds into a light overdrive, because everybody knows if you run a nice light overdrive after your fuzz, it does wonders for it, right? So we just put it in there. And so where it says, level or gate, that's actually introducing overdrive. So you have a fuzz adjustment on the front, you've got an overdrive adjustment, and you have that bias knob. And when you turn this bias knob, it actually does stuff. Because a lot of fuzzes, you're just flipping that thing around. It sounds the same at every position. And it is the most musical fuzz. Robbie Krieger and Joe Perry just started using it. John Frusciante is using it on tour. Scott Holiday of Rival Sons. These guys are like, this is the easiest to use, not a bad sound in any position. And I mean, Scott
and it looks
Holiday
great.
Had a $2,000 custom fuzz. I won't mention the brand because I don't like when people do that. But he had paid $2,000 for this. He immediately replaced it with the Orbiter. He also uses the Shaffer Replica Tower on tour and in studio. But the most musical fuzz, it's called the Orbiter. It's $249. And I'm just telling you, it is the most musical. Also, Neil Sean uses it and a bunch of other people that I don't like to name drop, but you have to drop a few. But
yeah, this is you got the
so
floor,
many
you
people
got to
using
do it.
So many people using that fuzz pedal. I'm one of those guys like I want to love fuzz, but I couldn't love fuzz, and it was because if I'm playing like Hendrix or Clapton, it sounds awesome. But when I try to like do me through a fuzz, it doesn't sound awesome.
Yeah,
it doesn't inspire me to create music. It just makes me want to play other people's fuzzy songs. And this, it really performs like a fuzzy overdrive.
I like that.
And so you can use it for a lead and it won't fall apart. It really it sings. It is a singing fuzz, if I could describe it as, in one word. But that is awesome. And we have a couple of other things like getting ready to come out. We're a pretty new company. We've had a lot of focus on obviously developing the Shaffer Replica line to the point that it needed to be for different people's uses. But we are getting ready to introduce a pedal called the Compandrive 65. That is based on the Dolby artifact that is on every recording that was recorded on tape between 1965 and now.
Wow. What's it called again?
The Companding Drive.
Okay.
Compandrive 65, 1965, Dolby was introduced. Part of the process that he used was something developed by the Bell companies called companding, where you compress a signal to make it travel, whether it's over a wire or through the air. A signal, it's like having a wire. If you had a spool of wire and you had it in a straight line, you could go a lot farther, right? But if you start hitting really high amplitudes and zigzagging that thing, the spool of wire doesn't go that far. And signals do the same thing through the air. And so the Bell company found out, if we compress a signal down, pull the wire will go farther basically because it's low amplitude wave. And then what we'll do is on the other end, so it doesn't sound like Charlie Brown's mom, we'll amplify it, and that is the expanding process. So companding is compressing, expanding. Well, it improves signal to noise ratio greatly, and so Ray Dolby, though he didn't invent it, he applied it, and so every recording that was introduced, that had that on there, there's a sound signature on there. There's a thumbprint, and it's in there. And nobody ever thought to put that in a guitar pedal because it just seemed like something that was getting rid of the hiss. I could geek out on like how that technology worked. Really cool. All he did was just boost the same frequency the hiss was on every instrument and thing recorded, and then dive it on that decoding stage so that the hiss went away and all the recordings sounded normal. But he used that companding process, and it definitely, you hear it in everything. It's really a thing of beauty. And then
when's that coming out?
It's like 2 weeks away.
Wow.
And then we combined that with something that we had in a pedal that had a wrong component in it. And this guy's like, I love this pedal, man. It's so amazing. It was an early pedal we put out called the TSR. His had a bad component in it. And it was causing it to have this really hi-fi, as it turned out, this circuit's really designed after what you see in a British console, that very simple preamp design. And so it's like having the Dolby process into a British console and being able to turn up the level and gain on it. It's so different than anything made for guitar up till now, but it's, again, like it's that first is best thing. When you hear it, you go, oh, that's what guitar is supposed to sound like. That's it. That's what, and all of a sudden you start playing, songs that you've heard and you're nailing those tones because that little je ne sais quoi of the Dolby effect or the Dolby artifact is all over it.
Wow.
But it is not, I'll tell you, it's not easy to find things. It seems like everything under the sun has been done when it comes to guitar pedals. And so we get really excited when we have that aha moment. And then we're also making something that well, I can't talk about, but it's really designed for all the guys that are modeling guys.
Yeah.
And it's designed to make their tone sound analog, because the most unnatural artifact, I like modeling. I think it's very useful, and a lot of people use it on tour. I'll go one way or the other, but it has this unnatural artifact that drives me crazy, and it's attempt to digitally reproduce analog compression. It doesn't do it. And it ends up sounding real kind of glitchy on the top end. It sounds like zeros and ones to me. And, I've said this, like, it doesn't, 99% of the people out there aren't going to hear the difference. You know who's going to hear the difference?
You.
The guitarist who has it in his ears, and he's going to be really inspired because what he's playing is coming back to him and sounding great, and he's going to play better. And 100% of the people in the audience are going to notice that.
Yes.
Any guitarist that's had like a glitchy cable in his rig, the whole concert sucks because the guy's it's so in his head. But this has a way of getting rid of that unnatural artifact and replacing it with the natural one. It's not a compressor.
That's wild.
It's the it's going to add analog back in. And that one it's going to be stereo for the guys who like to run their stereo. It'll go after the modeling device. And it can also be used for guitar as well. If you just want to run it after your pedal board, it kind of warm things up. But that one is it's already developed. It's just developed as a mono, and we're going to put it in a stereo configuration. But again, it's not easy to think of things that haven't been done, but also that musicians really need. We always think like that. I don't want to make some useless device. Do we need another fuzz pedal? I actually had guitar reviewers for magazines that said, I refuse to do a 2 or 3 knob fuzz anymore. Like, there's too many of them. And so we said, well, we'll send you one anyway. And he goes, we ended up getting like the editor's pick or whatever. He's like, this is the best fuzz I've ever had. He has it on his board. The other reviewers got it on his board, and they're like sales guy has it on his board too. But yeah, it was one of those things where it's like, you know, we don't need another fuzz. We need one that you can actually use.
Yeah. Well,
That
I tell you what,
everybody can
man,
use.
you sold the living heck out of that thing.
Have you ever done this before?
No, but no, literally, like you just described when we're talking about, you know, in other shows and stuff. There are things that Tony and I each kind of go back to. One of my things is I kind of play like all six, you know, or none, the Joe Strummer effect there. But in doing that, I still want articulation, right? So that was one of the things that happened. But then also, you know, the way that you were talking about fuzz was very akin to things that I look for. I have a hard time clicking on pedals, and then same thing with a phaser. So if you apply the phaser mentality, let's say, you know, like a phase 90.
Are you talking about love, or is that a flanger?
Just like a phase 90, right? So you click that on, and it's like, and here's the phase 90, and that's all you hear. It takes things over, and I like pedals that don't take over, and that I can still find my style of playing within it, right?
Well, that's what effects are for. They're flavors.
Yeah.
You know, you just add. It's like toppings on the sundae. It ain't the sundae. You know, what you're playing is the banana.
Yeah.
And everything else is just, you know, all the nuts and cherries and all that stuff. You know.
Well, the way that you describe the Orbiter, that's so right up my alley, and a lot of people that we talked to outside of the show, because you have to be able to sort of pick a lane in fuzz. It's like it's so broad, and everything's been done. So when people are going like, it's not the right one, that's because
everything's been done now.
Yes.
They're waiting on the Orbiter, and finally they're like, all right, we're done.
Yeah.
You know?
Yes.
Well, as described, I might actually learn to like fuzz.
Yes.
You know, this one's as easy to love as a good overdrive.
Yeah.
It had, and you could really, if you want to use it like an overdrive, you can. There have been people that have made fuzz overdrives. I forget who, but I recall seeing it way back on the gear page in probably 1875. You know, there is. You're right. There's something about, you know, having those little, you know, things that just add flavors to what you're already doing, but don't completely just become the player.
Yeah.
You know, I'm being outperformed by a phaser. You know.
Yeah. Well, I love the fact how
much
much
you got to tip it out at the end of the night. You know.
Yeah. I love that. So when you were describing what went into the fuzz, you could say it sounds good all day, but when you start articulating reasons why and things that you have incorporated to make it go beyond what people expect, I appreciate that, and I thank you for sharing all that. That's great.
Well, I'll tell you, you know, we didn't make this because the fuzz phase isn't good. There are phenomenal fuzz phase pedals, but they were, you know, as everyone knows, largely inconsistent. And over time, the ones that, you know, their transistors went bad. And so then someone went in there and replaced the transistor. Well, now all of a sudden it's not bad. It's not good anymore. It was so reliant on that and a few other factors. And components, they floated a lot back then. They just grabbed them out of the bin and hopefully it was the right one kind of mentality. You know, they're not putting the TLC in there like, you know, some of the guys building fuzzes today. I mean, I have one from R&R, I think.
Yeah, R2R, Chris.
R2R.
Yes, Chris. He listens. So say hello to Chris.
Hey, Chris. Hey, dude, I love that. I've always been a Tone Bender fan. And he sent me this thing. I opened it up on the inside. We did a swap out. He has a tower now, and he sent me and my partner. I would have traded it for one, but he sent us both, you know, these Tone Bender clones in the original type enclosure and everything.
Yeah.
And I open it up, and on the inside it has each component and what year the component was made.
Oh yeah.
But he's also, he plays through them and goes, that I don't care if that component's from 1961. It sounds like, crap.
Yeah.
And he really hand selects that stuff. He knows too, like he's so attuned to it that he can test the true value and know that component's going to sound good.
Yeah.
But it is a sweet science. And I was always more a fan of the tone bender because I like the bias feature than the fuzz face. But there are great sounding fuzz faces out there. But we made this because there wasn't consistently. This means that you can buy any orbiter off the shelf. They're all going to sound exactly the same. And that exactly the same is the best sounding fuzz face you've ever heard.
Mm-hmm. Well, I like that you've taken a fuzz face, but kept the player in mind, which is not, here's your fuzz face, now play it, but here's your fuzz face, and you can, micro dial it in to fit your rig and your style of playing.
Yeah, and the name worked out perfectly for us because our company's Solodallas, and Dallas Arbiter was one of the first people that came out. So we're like, Solodallas Arbiter.
Yeah.
And there's a lot of nod tos in that design of it. It has a tractor beam that is in the shape of the rubber pad on a fuzz face. And we took from the square face that Cesar Diaz had, like this guy in a cowboy hat or sombrero with cactuses on the side. We replaced that with a flying saucer, which is the shape of a fuzz face.
There's a cactus still in there. You kept that. That's good.
Yeah, and we put the cactus up there.
Yeah.
And so it's just, and there's a little guy with a flying V being sucked up into the tractor beam if you look closely.
Yeah.
But we have a lot of fun designing our stuff, both inside and out. But
it's a handsome pedal.
Thank you.
Yes. I think there's something we have to attend to. Somebody just came on here.
Who is that? Who came on here?
Oh, Jared.
Oh, hey, my apologies for not being on earlier. Had something I had to do. Life called. And I'm thanks for letting me on now.
That was the longest bathroom visit ever.
He's been eating extra brand.
It's definitely equal to that.
Yes. So. Well, Jared, we are just about to round third, but please say hello to Donny Garrett of Solodallas.
Donny, it's great to meet you. I bought your pedal a few weeks ago. It's awesome. The Shaffer Replica.
No, thanks. I'm glad you're loving it. So what is it that you like about the pedal?
Well, it doesn't overpower. It does exactly what you guys were just talking about. Like a Phase 9, it just kills you. But this, it gives you that just enough.
Yeah.
It flavors.
What rig are you using it? Now I'm interviewing you. What are you using it with? Because a lot of guys who think, oh, this is the Angus Young sound. I'm going to plug an SG into a Marshall. Well, if you do that, you'll be pleasantly surprised. You're like, there it is. That's the sound. But it's great.
It's a Black Star.
A Telly into a Tweed or a Strat into a Blackface through that pedal is just magic.
Yeah, I actually... I haven't tested all my guitars, but I tested a Les Paul through a 60-watt Black Star, HT60.
Oh, well, you were getting into AC/DC camp. I'm sure a few licks came out, and it happens. I'm guilty of it too. I actually never really played AC/DC stuff. My partners are like way into it, but I never played their stuff until I got this pedal. I'm like, hey, that's a sound. I think I'll learn a few songs.
There it is.
Yeah, you guys got it.
I played them really poorly.
Well, that's an interesting question that you had of Jared, and I think Tony and I were both playing it out of AC30s.
AC15.
He's got AC. He's the AC15, AC30.
And Rich Walker uses it with an AC30.
Yeah,
he loves. Yeah, he sent me a really cool sample. Matter of fact, he did an Orbiter demo. It's on our Instagram, like I don't know, a year ago. And we post a lot, so it's way back there. But it's out. You get to hear like that singing thing that I was talking about.
Yeah.
We have, like I said, we really our MO for any other guitar pedal company that wants to know, like, don't try to hang out with famous people. Just be cool to guitar techs and the engineers, and they'll tell the producer and the other guy about it. And then when they get fired or they move to another job, they'll take your device with them and then turn someone else onto it.
Yeah.
And there's a few guys that are also guitar guys like Dave Cobb and Butch Walker, a great guitarist, but also great producers. And they I can't even say how many bands they've turned onto our stuff. They come in, they end up plugging in to usually the EX Tower while they're in studio, and they're like, now we got to reproduce this on the road, and so they end up with a Storm pedal.
Yeah.
Yeah, the thing that I really liked about it is the interactivity between the limiter and the gain.
Yes.
I mean, you could dial in, infinite numbers. And I know, according to the instructions, if you increase the gain, you're supposed to decrease the limiter. But
I purposely tried to. I was like, I'm going to do the opposite and see what happens.
Well, think about it like this: the limiter needs to have something to limit, right?
Yeah.
So if the gain isn't up till about 10 o'clock on there, it isn't surpassing threshold, so you're not limiting anything below threshold or at threshold. And so as you get to about 10 o'clock, it starts hitting. And as you go beyond that limiter, the ratio is like 0-0. It's not 2-to-1 or 4-to-1 or 8-to-1. If it doesn't allow anything to get over. So if you use that gain to hit it like super hard, you can actually get this super duper percussive, like just smack you in the face percussion out of that pedal.
Yeah.
And that's awesome for like bass. You crank up the gain. The bass is for like, that gets some of my favorite tones with that. It's actually, it plays in a worship band called Bethel. And their bassist is named Tanner Erickson. He does all these like super 70s sounds on bass, and he gains it up. He uses that as like an overdrive, and he cranks the limiter, and it's the like smack you in the face, but light overdrive bass sound. But it has the EQ gives it this growl. So cool. And again, the bass version is called the Bass X. So you don't have to buy a Storm if you play bass.
I wanted to go back. You had mentioned that the tower runs on 15 volts.
Yes.
Is it possible to increase the voltage into the Storm to get more headroom, or is that no bueno?
Yes.
Oh, you can.
So we equipped that pedal to run up to 12 volts, but it can't handle anything beyond that.
12 volts, okay.
But you can run between 9 and 12 anywhere, and it will work just fine. But if you try to double it to 18, you'll fry it.
Yeah.
Don't do it.
Don't do it.
No 18. No 18.
Yeah.
Interesting.
Well, I found that it gave me some sparkle, so I was running that literally through our Tony Baloney homage to the Sparkle Drive. So Sparkle Drive, and then I had this running after it, and it just really woke up the signal.
That's what I was describing with the mid boost, because the Sparkle, although it's got a little bit of top end, it's a mid boost as well. They tend to just strip out that low end, and the Gold Post EQ on the Storm is like a miracle worker for that.
Yes.
And it does something that's interesting, even when you place it after our fuzz pedal or any fuzz pedal for that matter. It actually helps other fuzz pedals more. Is it does something I call filling in the grain. So fuzz pedals kind of got a very square wave happening. And imagine if you just took triangles and shoved them in the squares, and that's what the Storm does. It has a copious, it's tons of harmonic content. We call it overdrive, but really it's just a lot of harmonics is what it's more like you'd hear something coming out of tubes than an overdrive pedal.
I got to try this after a fuzz. I actually didn't do that. I was so busy trying out different drives in front of it because I love overdrives. And so I was seeing what different ones did based on their EQ.
Yeah.
I did do a treble boost in front of that. But now I got to go home and try a fuzz in front of that.
You know what? It gives it. I call it the Velcro rip.
Yeah.
It does this thing that's just with the attack because it's both percussive and it adds that low end to the fuzz. It really gives it this, I don't know, just this low end thing that most fuzzes don't really have. It's it. But that percussive attack is a lot of fun to play with. That's really getting that limiter dialed in. That is the secret, man, for not just that pedal.
It's kind of a magic knob
for your entire rig.
Yeah.
And so we always tell people, like, place it after all your overdrives, but before, like, all your time-based effects and reverbs, delays, and all that stuff.
Yeah.
There's no reason to bust, to boost all the noise that comes out of those things.
No. And this is bone quiet. I mean, it's like you don't even know.
If you crank up the boost, it's not. But that's because you're boosting every single noise that happens before that pedal. So 60 cycle hum or whatever, you're going to have. That's
I
funny.
didn't boost it super loud.
We'll get emails and they'll say, "Oh man, like this thing's so loud." It's like, well, what do you have? Oh, it's turned all the way up. Well,
yeah.
You turned your volume down on your guitar, and they're like, "Oh, I fixed it."
Hey,
It's like the guy that says, "Oh, listen how good this pedal cleans up." No, it's your amplifier, dum dum. You just decrease the volume going into it.
Yeah.
That's fun.
Oh man. Well, we sure have learned an awful lot about Solodallas right now, but I know that we'll be talking to you in the future with so much stuff that you got.
Well, now because you want a free orbiter pedal.
Well,
Todd knows how to work it.
Yeah, work it, baby.
No, that I definitely I'm anxious to see what happens with that Compan drive. That sounds it's very interesting sounding.
Yeah.
I'll tell you this: that the people who are the beta testers, they're like, "This is it, man.
Awesome.
This is it. This is it's the thing."
That's the thing. Well, more to come on that, everybody. For right now, go get yourself a Storm and an Orbiter, and
get a tower.
Well, let's
make.
I tell you, if you have the money, the studio guys are the ones who get it. They're like, "This isn't expensive. It's only $14.99. I paid like $10,000 for that."
Yeah.
Well, that microphone over there.
Yeah.
It really is the quality of what is in it. It's 100% studio grade. There are a ton of guys touring with them. And when I say a ton, go to the Solodallas website, look at the artist list. I'm not kidding, man. Sometimes when people go, who uses your stuff? I go, who's your favorite guitarist? And it's usually that guy. But they keep it a secret. There are a lot of these guys, man, they don't like to tell anybody what they're using. And their rig rundowns, almost every time, a guy who uses that, and I know he's like, "Dude, this is the best thing in my rig." They don't mention it on the rig rundown because it's not a pedal, it's not a guitar, it's not an amplifier. It is this standalone. It looks exactly like the original wireless receiver. That's the form factor. They used to make them. It was made out of the same material they used to make all of the camera equipment for Hollywood out of, and all their cases and stuff.
Yeah.
It's that same extruded aluminum with side panels and so we made it exact. It's not to look like it. It is like it. Same construction as the original wireless receiver. But if you can afford it, it will literally make everything in your collection. This is like a Joe Bonamassa thing. Everything in your collection, and he has a big collection, sound better. It'll make your amplifiers sound, your Marshalls sound more Marshally, your Fenders sound more Fendery. It'll do the same thing for guitars. It accentuates all of the things that are beautiful about those devices.
Well, you couldn't have said it better yourself.
I did.
Yeah.
Get a tower.
Well, we're going to do a little something here right now. This is, Tony, what is this called?
It's a little game that we play called
Would You Rather?
What's it called?
It's called Would You Rather.
That's
You guys are high on helium over there. So
It's actually me, and
Yes.
if you could do it in the voice of Dan Rather, I'd be more impressed.
Would you?
I can give you a clean version of what it's supposed to
That was
sound like.
that was Cronkite.
Yeah. Well, Tony, go ahead and give us what we got.
Well, this week's Would You Rather is brought to our good friend and sponsor, Trevor Ellenberg.
Yes.
I'm calling this one, You Bet Your Significant Other. Ooh, interesting. So here's the gist. Your band was just booked for a huge gig to open for your favorite band, and it's time to select your rig and get your guitars set up. However, you're only allowed to do one of these two things on your own while your significant other does the rest.
Okay.
Would you rather have your significant other, and this is assuming that they have no guitar knowledge, one, receive $5,000 to select a mix of guitars, pedals, and amps for you to use, and you
Me.
get to restring and set up your guitars? Or would you rather select your own $10,000 guitar rig? So $5,000 versus $10,000, but your significant other has to restring and set up your guitars. Now, there's a couple of twists, if you will.
All right.
If your significant other is purchasing the rig, they're not allowed to take a look at what you already have for inspiration, and they can't get help from a salesperson, friend, or etc.
Okay.
Or if they're setting up your guitars, tools will be provided, little snippers and things, maybe a couple of screwdrivers, but they can only watch a YouTube video once to learn how.
Oh, dear.
So,
Okay.
two options.
Yes.
Your significant other has $5,000 to get a rig, and you set up your guitars. Or you get to pick a $10,000 rig, but your significant other has to set up your guitars.
Okay. And this is for playing a gig.
Dude, you're asking a gearhead if they would rather have $10,000 in gear or $5,000. I don't even care about the rest
That's
of the
all I heard.
That's all I heard. I'm just like, do you want $5,000 a gear or $10,000?
Yeah.
But the guitars,
burn on stage.
the guitars have to be restrung.
Yeah.
You see,
Okay.
they have layers of gunk on them.
Yes.
And they have to be restrung, and they probably could use a good setup.
But she has to buy a used guitar.
No. Well, I mean, she
Your
can.
guitar.
I'm poking holes in your question, bro.
Yeah. Okay, Tony, what are you doing?
I think I'm going with option one, the $5,000 rig, because I think my wife has a pretty good idea of things that I like, and if not, so be it. But I'm not that I'm the most picky guy, but I there's a certain way I like my guitars to feel, and strings I like to use, and I just I don't want to risk having it strung up backwards or anything like that. So I'm going with option one, a lesser rig, but I get to have guitars set up and strung the way that I like.
Okay, that's fair. Let's see. Let's go, Jared.
Definitely $10,000. I know my wife is mega super smart, so I trust her 100% to watch the YouTube video and then go to town.
Only once.
One time she could. I trust her 100%.
Okay.
One time, and she could do it. She's been around guitars, been around me for 20 years.
Fair.
All good. All good. I trust her. And if she screws up, it's on me, but I get $10,000 for this stuff.
All right.
Interesting.
Let's see. Donnie, about yourself.
I also have my wife. She's got like dude brain. She's like really smart. She's not a guitarist, but yeah, she could watch a video and figure that out. I'd definitely take the $10,000 bucks. I mean, and how difficult is it to really string a guitar? I mean, I think you could probably I'm not kidding, actually teach a monkey to do it. Well,
that would come in handy if your significant other is a monkey.
I mean, my wife would probably prick her pinky and be upset, but $10,000.
I got a smart one, man. She would definitely knock that out. It'd probably better than I string them. Of course, a YouTube video on how to string a guitar. Like, do you know how many videos there are on how to do it the wrong way?
Yeah.
I want to go through like a YouTube, and there should be like a way you could flag a video for when a guy shows you how to play something wrong or how to string a guitar wrong. Like, a way to
just leave a nasty comment.
Yeah. But I like to go a couple of times around the post and bend it back over it and do all that crazy stuff.
Well, I'm gonna probably surprise a few people by choosing the $5,000, and I get to
come on,
because I'm the one who's playing it. Like you can make, if you have a pile of pedals and an amp, most of us can make something sound pretty good. But if the guitar's not playing right, you're screwed.
Yeah, that's what I said.
That's what I
said.
said.
Sit on stage.
But what if she forgets to buy cables?
Yeah.
That I didn't think about that, but
you borrow it from the bass player.
Yes,
you can get it from our sponsor.
Tour Gear Design patch
call.
cables.
Excellent. Yeah. Well, Tony, we need to thank a few people.
That's right, Todd. At this point of the show, there is a special group of people we love to thank. These are our executive producers.
That's right.
An executive producer helps make this show possible. How do you become one? Head over to patreon.com/The Guitar Knobs. Check out a couple different levels in which you can participate, become a sponsor, a friend, a hero of the podcast. Right. Mm-hmm. Each level comes with some very nice thank you gifts and opportunities to win great stuff through our frequent and often giveaways.
Yes, that's true.
They're both frequent and often. But in addition to all that great stuff, I am told there is one thing more, Jared. What would that be?
Well, you get to have your name read on the thing.
Your name read on the thing. So that's what I'm going to do right now. So special thanks to these executive producers: Anthony Lathrop, Brett Hogarth, Cameron Pampas, Darren Gregory, Don Kloss, Elad Mizrahi, James Bell, James White, John Esterly from Rare Buzzer Effects, John Sebastian, John Halverson, Justin Jones, Ken Sayers, Michael Senchuk, Mike Davenport, Owen Eads, Plutone, Ralph Gottschalk from Wonderful Audio Technology, Watt, Richard Kendall, Rick Calhoun, Rusty Sneeden, Stefan Lamb, Tom Brazen, Trevor Ellenberg, Trevor Gunberg, and Vader and Pedals.
Yay,
but there's more, because there's a special group of executive producers. We call them our Grand Poobahs. These are the top of the heap, the A number ones. And they wear a fez on their head whilst listening to the podcast.
Yep.
So special thanks to these Grand Poobahs: Anthony Giamolero, Billy Spitfire Unlimited, Bob Crouch, Brian Robinson, Cody Foster, David Kaminga, David Tyndall, Enrico Fernando, Fox Hill Studio, Gregory Randall, Hex Matos, John Williams, Martin Cliff, Matt Hart, Michael Van Zant, Michio Murakishi, Moon Guitars, Pedro Vasquez, Sam Jett, Steve Keys, James Pennington, Zach Oswald from Brandon Wound Pickups.
Yep.
Jonathan Labate from M2 Labs, Ty Barnes, and James Castellano.
All right.
Thank you
so very much. We cannot do the show without you. That is not just something that we say. It is the absolute truth. Not only in your actual support, but the brain waves you're all sending us when you listen to the show.
Yes.
We catch
feel
them.
it. We feel them.
All right. Donnie, where can people find the things that you make?
They are all available directly at solodallas.com, or that's SOLO, Dallas, like the city in Texas. .com and through a few select dealers. Most of our dealers are international. We have a few here in the U.S., but not many because we sell direct. It just kind of works out. We don't like to step on anyone's toes. Yeah, that's where it's all at. And we also have tremendous content on our YouTube channel. It's got a pretty big following and stuff, and I don't really keep track of all that. But we do like Phil, my partner, the founder of Solodallas. He has that ability to sound like people. We have this awesome video producer, and so he does like these videos where he redoes songs, and we'll have like celebrity people coming in playing like Rudy Sarzo on bass or Tommy Hendrickson on guitar or whatever, doing stuff with him. It's a lot of fun. But we also just any content. You'll never see an advertisement from Solodallas. You will only see entertainment with product placement because we're like you. We thumb past advertisements. We like to be entertained or educated, and so it's really our goal. In anything you see on our social media stuff, if we're not entertaining you, we are educating you on something cool about gear.
Awesome. Tony, about yourself.
Head over to pickguardian.com. Check out the stuff that I do. What do? I make custom pick guards for guitars. How do you get one? Shoot me an email. Let me know what you need, what you're trying to do, what pickups you're going to put in there, all the stuff.
Anything you can think of, Tony can probably do it.
Think of the stuff.
He's the best.
Yes.
The best.
If, shoot me an email. It's the easiest way to get a hold of me.
Yeah.
As Todd often says, it's your opportunity to make your guitar even more yours.
That is true. Jared?
Jared.Allen.Brandon on Insta. Send me a message. Talk about whatever.
Cool. You can shoot me a DM on Instagram. We love to get your messages. Tell us what you think about the show. Tell us what you think about this episode. Tell us what you think about the pedals and guitars and stuff that you have. Just reach out. Extend a hand. We will gladly shake it. And listen to the Valentinos on the way home from wherever you're driving, or the way you're wherever, after this, of course,
Yes.
Not during this. Don't do that. Thank you so much, Donny. You were a great guest, and you have certainly convinced a lot of people that they need to investigate this quite a bit further. And we truly appreciate
Then I did my job.
You did. You did.
You know what? I'm just a gearhead like you guys. I am so grateful to my partners James Allen and Phil Olivieri, and our engineer Dries Potvin, just to be a part of this company. I've been in the gear business a long time. A lot of times I end up working for companies that they had great products, but they either were not great people or they didn't know how to run a company. And it's really, it's a breath of fresh air to work in an environment with people that I love building something with. We are totally not in it for the money. We all got our day jobs, but we really love making useful stuff for our fellow musicians. And shoot, I would make them just so I could use them.
I love it.
Yep, that's the mark of something good. Well, ladies and gentlemen, we hope you have a fantastic guitar week, and subscribe.
Boing.
Yeah.
Cannonball Run. What he wrote? He was in not Phantom of the. The one where the guy had the weird silver thing, and he was like, ah.
It wasn't Phantom.
It was
a spoof.
A spoof on Phantom of the Opera. A parody, a interpretation, if you will. And Paul Williams was the crazed fiend behind the Phantom. Ever since that boating accident.
Severe boating accident.
Yeah.
Detrimental.
Is there any other kind?
Fellow geeks make quick friends because, you can just talk about the most abstract thing and totally understand what each other is talking about.
You're not wrong.
Yes.
Yes.
So
your fries are done.
Yeah.
We got some Waterloo Black Cherry for you.
Waterloo.
You don't know the words to that? Should we play Guess Your Age? That's right. It's Guess Donnie's Age. Tony?
Do we get to ask questions?
Ask a leading question. Yes.
What year did you graduate from high school?
No.
You know, one of the coolest things about the Mongoose was the Matrix rims, right? The ones that were...
You're talking about the mags.
Yeah.
But they were squares inside of them.
Yes.
Yeah.
But it was all like solid aluminum. They were heavy. Like, that was a really heavy bike. Going off jumps with that? What? Yeah. You know?
So hopefully that doesn't happen very much.
Not a big deal. Well, maybe it is.
All right, hang on.
Got a lot of customers. And away we go.
Well, that's it for these knobs. Please visit our Patreon page at patreon.com/theguitarknobs. Visit our website at theguitarknobs.com for all of our past episodes, 4 on the Floor blog, and other good stuff. You can connect with us on social too at our Facebook page and share your gear and stories on our Facebook group. Also, be sure to check out our Instagram at Guitar Knobs. Catch you next time.